Welcome to the People of Packaging podcast, where we introduce people to the world of packaging and the people of packaging to the world. Here are your hosts, Adam Peak and Ted Tate.
Today is the day. It's one of the greatest times of the year, one of my favorite times. It is the start of the NCAA tournament, March Madness. If you've been following this for a while, you can go to our newsletter that we help support and sponsor, packaging.tips, and the company who gets the most signups during the tournament is going to win a $250 donation to a organization that they support, along with a featured sponsored article on packaging tips. So everybody head on over to www.packaging.tips. And while you're on the World Wide Web, you can also go to peopleofpackaging.com, where we are sponsored by Doxalent. We're talking to a packaging engineer today. She is incredible. Her name is Chemere Mathis. And if you're a fellow packaging engineer and you are so sick and tired of dealing with spec management all over the place, it's uncontrolled, you're not sure what to do, peopleofpackaging.com. Get your free ebook courtesy of our friends over at Doxalent. Trust me, you are going to want to get your hands on that. And then reach out to the folks at Doxalent and set up some time to chat with them. Well, like I said, we have Michigan State, a current student at MSU, who traditionally has had the best basketball program of all of the packaging programs. I'm a huge Tom Izzo fan. I went to a state school. We were green. Michigan State's green. So you'll hear me say right now, let's go Sparty. I think they're playing, who are they playing today? Maybe Drake? I don't remember. I got to check my bracket. But whoever it is, no, they're playing UCLA. That's going to be great. It's going to be a great game. So root on for your fellow packaging grads, your fellow packaging people. Let's have a good Go Sparty, and let's get to this interview with Miss Chemere Mathis. Real quick though, if you are looking to hire an incredibly dynamic packaging engineer, Chemere has an incredible resume. So maybe my friends at Doxalent know some people. Maybe you're looking to hire someone. She's going to be graduating with her master's degree. So please, please, please make sure you connect with her. She's awesome, and you're going to hear a lot about her here in this interview. So go Sparty. Check out Chemere, go on the internet, get your newsletter right, get your packaging specs right, and let's get going. All right, well, I am here with Chemere Mathis. Chemere and I, we connected up on LinkedIn. I don't remember when it was. I think it was during COVID, wasn't it?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, it was within the last year, which is wild to think. And Chemere is you're a grad student currently at the Michigan State University. Is that where you got your undergrad as well?
Yes.
Okay, got it. You know what's funny is I talked to somebody a couple days ago. It was on Clubhouse. Are you on Clubhouse at all?
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Love
I think
Clubhouse.
we're connected, aren't we? Are we connected on there?
On Clubhouse? I'll have to double check.
All right. We'll pray
I've
about
been
that.
following a lot of people, so probably.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I host a lot of packaging rooms on Clubhouse, so it'd be cool to have you come through.
Oh, definitely.
But so someone was on Clubhouse and she was talking about how she's struggling with packaging and she has this company, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I texted her because her number was on there. She's like, I'm in East Lansing, Michigan. I was like, how are you struggling with packaging in East Lansing, Michigan? She's like, I didn't know this was, and I was like, it's like the packaging mecca.
Wow,
yes. Yeah. She was like, I had no idea. I'm like, you're in good hands. Trust me. You have a lot of people who can help you in East Lansing.
Definitely. Wow.
Yeah.
How ironic.
I know. Super ironic. Well, I'm excited to connect up with you on Clubhouse. We talk a lot about sustainable packaging and CPG packaging and flexible packaging and food packaging. And I just did one on wine packaging. And I don't know. It's a cool space. I've enjoyed it. But so let's get to know you real quickly, and then we're going to talk about the last 1 year, almost to the date. And I am so curious to get your perspective on that. So before we get into that, you know, where'd you grow up? How'd you get into packaging? Why'd you decide to pursue an undergrad degree in packaging and then do something crazy like stay in school and go get your graduate's degree? So,
Yeah. So to start, I was born and raised on the west side of Detroit. So still close to home, which is nice. Getting off into packaging, it wasn't my initial goal. I've always dreamed of being an anesthesiologist. And so I was a part of the Lyman Briggs program here at Michigan State, where I was studying biomedical laboratory. And we started to get to like our junior year where you have to declare your major. And I was like, is this something I really want to do? Like my classes they were fine. Like I was taking chemistry 1 and 2, like all the science classes. But then I'm like, I'm not really getting a lot of exposure. So I don't want to like keep pursuing this degree and then I graduate and I'm not sure of like what I even want to do. So that's when it was at work. I had two of my coworkers who were packaging majors, that I later found out about. One, he was like designing something on CAD. And I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. And he's like, oh, it's for class. And I was like, oh, wow. I've never taken a class that, allowed me to be creative. So I was like, oh, nice. And then this other girl, she was traveling for her internship. So like she would get days off work and my job was pretty strict. So I was like, well, how did you do that? Like, teach me your ways.
where were you working
And
at this time?
Sparty's on campus.
What's
It,
that?
it,
So
it's
is that like the
it's our
bookstore?
No, it's actually like our convenience, like a retail store. There's
Oh,
like
okay.
21 locations like inside the dorms for students to like go get their we have something called a combo exchange. So they're able to like go get their combos and stuff from there, or like if you need Tylenol, drinks, things
Oh,
like that.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
get
So
there.
so they're like
I've
convenient.
never been to Michigan State, but it's happening like
Oh
soon. I got
yeah,
to see the campus, watch some basketball. Uh, I'm I'm
definitely.
I'm making it happen. Anyway, so you were
Yeah,
at
definitely
Sparty's.
homecoming. Homecoming would probably be a great time for that. But
That would be. So you're at
uh
Sparty's. She's getting time off, and you're like, "What's going on?"
yeah, like how's it, like how are you doing it? And she was like, oh, like I interned at a company but I like still work and help them. So she was running their trials. And I was like, okay, like tell me more about it. So I was very intrigued by both of them, like the opportunities that they were getting, like him being able to be like creative design in a bottle, and then she was like still connected with the company. And I was like, this is like the exposure that I would like. So they had recommended me to talk to the advisor, which I like wrote out a long list of questions and went, and she like answered everything within 5 minutes. And I didn't even get through all my questions, but they all sort of tied together. She was like, okay, start with the packaging 101 course and then we can go from there. And packaging 101 is taught by Paul. So I took the course and he had different professionals come in from like different parts of the industry. So I was like, okay, not only can I do like medical, because I was still trying to like connect that in there. But there was like the consumer goods, there was automotive, cosmetics. So I was like, okay, now you have even more things that you can do, but it's like compiled within this one major, like I don't have to go get 3 different degrees to do this. So I think from there, I was really like, okay, yeah, I really like this. And then I got a few mentors from the professionals. I just like reached out to them on LinkedIn and like we stayed connected. And then eventually I made the switch into the school.
Cool. That's
Yeah, I know you
awesome.
have more follow-up questions.
No, yeah. So what was your undergrad major? What was the official degree? I see your if I can see here because we're talking on Zoom, you've got your graduation picture behind you. So like what was that degree in officially?
Oh, so this degree was officially in packaging, a
Okay,
bachelor's of science in packaging. Yes.
cool. And then you liked it so much. Did you go work at all after that, or did you go straight into your grad program?
So actually, I graduated with my bachelor's degree May of 2020. During that spring semester, I was also dual enrolled as a graduate student. So like I'm currently graduating with my master's this May.
Gosh.
because I was able to like be dual enrolled during that time. And that was just for me also like just staying connected with the School of Packaging. And as the time got closer, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm really ready for the industry. And I reached out to the current advisor, Aaron Tucker, and he was just like, "Oh, yeah, how about you do packaging?" Because I was like, "What are some higher education degrees that I can like potentially pursue?" And packaging just offered me like a really nice package to like get my master's in packaging, and I was like, "Why not?"
Cool.
And then I just kept at it because I was already like in my school mode. So I was like, I don't want to go off into the industry and, have to come back. So I thought it would be best to just get my master's now.
That's a smart move. I'm doing my MBA right now, and I graduated from Colorado State in 2002. So it had been 18 years between taking a class, and it's tough to get back into it. So good, good
Yeah.
on you for that.
I was about to say, how was that adjustment for you? Like getting back into like the learning, and I'm pretty sure there's like a new curriculum or like a way of
Mhm.
learning. How was that?
Man,
Or
now I'm
how
getting
is
interviewed. This is great. Well, let me tell you about that. It's an awesome question. Yeah, it's been different. I think the cool part has been like I've got 18 years of work and life experience. Like since I've been in college, I've gotten married. I've worked in a couple industries. I have 5 kids. I've coached basketball. And so it's no longer for me, um, like this hypothetical thing. It's like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. So like I'm studying supply chain as my concentration, which I do a lot of in the packaging industry. And then I'm dual concentrating, I guess,
okay?
in blockchain and crypto, which I don't know anything about. So I'm using, I don't know, it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed getting back into it. But you're not allowed to ask me hard questions. I gotta
I was
no,
really
it's totally
interested in
fine. You can no,
that.
you can ask away. That was great. And so you're graduating in here in 2021. Um, so to the art, do you have a job lined up? Like, are you already hitting the ground running or?
No, right now I am currently seeking full time. I actually just started looking though. So I've just been like going through like LinkedIn, and then like previous connections that I had, just like reaching out, like, hey, do you know anyone in the industry? And I think due to COVID, a lot of things are flexible. So I'm
Mhm.
like excited for like how that new workspace will like come to play.
Yep.
But yeah, currently searching.
Any industries or like industries that you're like, this is the one that I wanna be in, food and
So
beverage or.
far I have experience in consumer goods, but I'm also open to medical. Um, I've been thinking about cosmetics maybe like the past few months, but I think I'll probably try to pursue something in a consumer goods.
Cool. Cool. Well, hopefully, hopefully someone will hear this and reach out to you and say, "Oh my
Right?
gosh, we're looking to hire." So that would make my day. I'll make sure that everyone's got your LinkedIn profile in the show
Yeah.
notes so they can reach out to you. And I'll keep an eye out as well. Also, shameless plug. I've been putting out a daily packaging newsletter,
Okay.
and it's called Packaging Tips. And at the end of it, or at the bottom of the newsletter, there's just new jobs. So we're just updating with like links for, there's a lot of packaging jobs. They're not all
Yeah,
remote,
I keep seeing
obviously,
that.
but yeah. So everybody should go to packaging.tips and subscribe to the newsletter. It's a lot of fun. There we go.
Okay.
Shameless plug over. So that's cool. So you're getting out of school. So let's talk now about a couple of things. You start your senior year of your undergrad, which is like got to be this super exciting time because you're getting ready to be done with your undergrad. I still remember being a senior in college, and it was a ton of fun. And so you're coming up to the end. You're probably maybe you made some plans for spring break with some friends. I don't know. And
Yeah.
then March 11th comes and bam,
Yes.
what was that like as an undergrad student, as a senior? I mean, what's going through your head? Because I know what's going through my head, and I wasn't in school. My head was like, I better go get some toilet paper. Like that's what I was thinking because I got all these kids. Um, but what's going on in your head as a student? I mean, talk to me, like walk through
Yeah,
that month or 2 months right when COVID hit.
definitely. And I definitely remember this day like it was yesterday.
Right.
I was actually on my way to a packaging lab at the time. And I had literally just got to like our parking ramp. And as I was going to pay for parking, I got like we have like the MSU alerts for like text messaging. And I
Mhm.
got it that all classes were canceled. And I was like, the School of Packaging, we never cancel anything. So I'm like, no. So I went in the building and everybody's like packing up and things like that. And I'm like, okay. But everyone's like excited. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, get with the excitement, like what's going on though? And then they start saying, like, well, right now we're gonna shut down classes and like see what's going on. My lab, they were like, we're not doing anything. Like we have instructions to like shut down campus. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm like, okay, like I was looking, I guess, forward to a break. But then I think it hit me like, okay, wait, like now you're gonna have to like adjust to learning because I'm more of like a hands-on person. So like
Right.
the whole Zoom thing, and then too, like I at the time, I had a few older professors who were like, like teaching in person has always been their thing. So it's now like you have to tell them like, oh, you're on mute, or like we can't see your slideshow. So I think that was a big adjustment. And then I know like after connecting with a few people, it was like they felt cheated out of their education.
Mhm.
And for me, I was like, okay, I don't want to necessarily get my mindset there because I know, it would start to like negatively affect me. So I was like, okay, what's ways that I can still be engaging and make the best of this? Because I mean, it's out of our control. Like, what can we possibly
Right.
do,
Right.
in a safe manner to like still learn, but comply with the university requirements. Um, yeah, so I think it
Yeah.
was definitely like it went from like a high to like a whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
think
what a
too,
good line, from high to whoa.
yeah. And I think too,
That's a
like
great
as
way of
we
putting
got
it.
to the end of the semester, it started to be like it was more work than in person. Like I felt like I looked at a computer screen from like 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. When like before I would have like those breaks, or we would have class for like 50 minutes and you can like look at the screen far away. But like now I'm literally like sitting on the laptop all day trying to turn in work and reach out to my professors. And I'm like, okay, this is definitely different.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. The story of the older professors reminds me of my new favorite internet video, which was the lawyer who came on with the cat. Did you see this one?
No, I missed
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh. Okay, so there's this lawyer, he's an older lawyer in Texas, and he comes on to like this live meeting, and there's a judge and the other lawyer, and this guy comes on, and there was like a cat filter that was turned on, and he starts talking, and like the cat starts moving its mouth, and he's like, I'm here, judge. I'm live. I'm not a cat. It just killed me. I've watched it 25 times,
Oh, I have to go
minimum.
check that out.
Yeah. And then what was graduation like? I mean, did you have, obviously there was no like big ceremony. Was it virtual? Did you do like a virtual graduation?
Yeah, and it was definitely, I would say that was an adjustment within itself because it was more of just like, oh, congratulations, everyone. And then I think they went by the colleges. I'm not sure. We got like instructions to like, oh, dress up, go to the living room with your family and, like move your tassel and things like that. I didn't too much participate. I was a little bummed that like, I was graduating with my bachelor's, but I wasn't able to have the opportunity. But I ended up rewatching it after I, talked to myself like it's okay. Just go ahead and like rewatch it. But yeah, it was literally like, hey, congratulations all. Then they did like little special clips from campus, um, probably show like Sparty, and then had a few of the deans from colleges speak. But
Okay.
that was
So,
about.
so, Okay, so but you were already taking master's classes, so you knew when you graduated that you were going to stick out school. It wasn't like you thought, well, I guess we got COVID and the job market is, in the tank right now. And oh gosh, so I'm just gonna go get my master's degree. Like you were already planning on doing that. That wasn't driven by COVID, but obviously it changed, like everything did. So, did you start right into it, like in the summer, and just start taking master's classes during the summertime, or did you take a little bit of a break and go back home and then get back into it? Like, what was that? What was that like over the last? Basically, tell me about everything that's happened to you in the last year.
Oh wow, we'll be here all day.
I'm just playing. Yeah, but it's we just don't have we don't on the podcast we talk to a lot of different people, but it's pretty crazy because then the next question is going to be about now you're a teacher's assistant and you have to adjust to teaching students, in maybe a hybrid environment, or you guys are in Michigan. I know they've been pretty strict with meetings. So, a virtual environment and all that stuff. So before we really get into that though, like how has it been through your graduate program? Do you feel like you've made the adjustment, your teachers have adjusted, or is it still like, I just have work from morning to night staring at a computer screen?
Yes. So I started full-time master student fall semester. So I just took the summer off, which was nice. I think it's still the same as far as us still trying to like adjust. Like I have a
Mhm.
new professor this semester who's like, I'm used to teaching this in person. So, I'm like trying to explain and show you things, but like this work is done on a machine. So it's only so much. And even if you record things, it's like it's still missing that like hands-on
Mhm.
experience. So like when you look at the video, like you can be like, okay, I can see a power button back there compared to being in person. Like, okay, yeah, like this is how the power button feel, or like this is the noise that it makes when it turns on. Um, but yeah, I think we still have a lot of work. And I initially we have a plan A and plan B for Michigan State master student program. And the plan A was more of like hands-on research. So you like conduct the experiment. Plan B is actually like a paper. So I switched from plan A to plan B just because it was difficult to like find funding for like a potential research project. I mean,
Mhm.
everything is involved with COVID now. So if you're not too interested in that, and that still like had its barriers. But yeah, I switched just because I felt like that would be easier. If I would have, I felt like if I stuck out with plan A, I would have just probably extended my graduation to like December because I would have had to go through with like funding and like what I'm going to do and prepare that project and then test it. And December was the minimum. I
Okay.
could also been in school for another like year, depending on what my research was and how long it would take me to
Got it.
collect that.
Got it. That makes sense. And then so let's talk here about the teaching component. So you're teaching a 400 level undergrad class, correct? Or you're a teacher's assistant? Is that what it was?
Yes, a teaching assistant.
Okay. And so are you having to teach, or are you doing more administrative, helping students who need help? I mean, what does it mean to be a teacher's assistant in during a COVID pandemic at Michigan State University?
Yeah, so I know for the School of Packaging, some of the professors had their teaching assistants go in to record the videos, like lab videos. I was fortunate enough. I work with Mr. Patrick McDavid, and he teaches Packaging 14, which is distribution and dynamics. So at the beginning of COVID, he recorded videos for
Okay.
last semester, and then he finished out with like, from the ones they completed January to March, he went back and like recorded those videos um for students. So I'm more of like the supportive side. So if they need help building their lab reports, I help them with that, and then maybe like some questions throughout the lab, and then like the exam material. But I do not necessarily have to like teach a virtual session. We already
Got it.
have the labs recorded and then the lab manuals posted, so they just go through, watch the video, and then fill out the information and create a lab report, turn that in.
Okay, that makes sense. I think that the students who are graduating or who are in college right now are going to be one of the most resilient, inspired, and innovative classes of students that we've ever
Yeah.
had. Because what you all have had to do, and, also I'll give a lot of credit to the teachers because there's a lot of teachers who have just had to adjust, and a lot of them have done, a great job. But man, I mean, just they're to be kind of hit with this new normal that happened when all you're doing, like, I remember just thinking about graduation and, being with my friends and going out afterwards and celebrating and turning the tassel and doing the whole thing. And, you know, it- that, and then enter into a potential job market that's been depressed. Like, I'm excited as a, because I'll still be, fingers crossed in the industry. I'm only 40 when, when you guys are the executives and you guys are running companies and you guys are running packaging, programs at big, massive Fortune 500 companies. Because I think that the lessons that you all are learning and that you all are going through right now are going to stay with you, and it's going to help to bring about a lot of change that is probably needed
Yeah,
within the industry. So
I
um,
agree.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited for you to get, get completed and get your graduation, and
Yes.
to follow your career. So uh, kind of the last part of this is sort of related to that statement, and it's this. Um, what is it that you are most looking forward to or would love to see happen in the packaging industry?
Mhm.
So, and that's a really broad question. I understand it, uh, but you're around, life and vibrancy and students and ideas, and that's what college is. It's just people dreaming and thinking and then grinding and doing and working. Um, so I would wonder, like, what do you see kind of coming down, that people are talking about, your students are talking about, that you think about, that you kind of dream about for the future of the packaging industry?
Yes, that is definitely an interesting question. And I've thought of a few things from that. One, I thought of like trends. I know during like this pandemic that has like taken over like social media. And a lot of those trends too are coming from like the younger generation. So I'm also excited to see like what they do when they actually like get out here into their careers. But as far as packaging, I believe
Well, let's hang out. Can we
I'm
hang
most
out there on the
excited.
trends?
Oh
Because
yeah,
I think you're onto something there. So,
yeah,
because you're just talking about general trends, right?
yeah, general. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
not
like,
even
what?
packaging related.
Yeah, but everything, like packaging, you already know this. Packaging touches every person. I mean,
Hmm.
literally it does. Like, we're constantly interacting with packaging every single day of our lives. And so, and I think that these trends, so what are some trends that you're like, I'm excited about these trends from, the Gen Z? I'm not sure what's the one at, whatever the one is after Gen Z. I should know because it's my kids. I don't know what their generation is. But
Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, so like what are those trends that you're excited about?
I think I'm really excited about like not adjusting to the new norms, but sort of modifying like the current norms we have. And one thing that I think about is like the 40 hours a week and like being inside of a building for like packaging and like now working from home. Uh, we have like proven that we can do these things. I know that's been like something that my mom talks about, and she's only 45, so she's still young, but like she's always talked about like like you basically sit at a work computer from like 8 to 4, 9 to 5, just to say like you work those hours. But what happened when you're really done with work? Like,
Right.
like what do you sort of do? So I think that would be really interesting to see like how that works. And I know a lot of places are even like not renewing contracts for like their buildings. So like now you have the opportunity to like work from anywhere. But on top of that, I think it's in the packaging aspect, trends as far as like, I think it's more of I'm trying to think because I know there's like literally a lot of trends, and then
Sure.
like from those people try to like capitalize off those. So it's just like the coming like creating those innovative things like packages that can like help with that. And just the like the ability, because I think before like planning those products and those packaging normally like took a long time, but now they're like literally like flipping them so fast that it's like, whoa, like you, I think that's something now I keep up with, like trends. I don't, I try to see like what's going on because I know like that's what's shaping the world or
Mhm.
so, but yeah. And
No,
then I don't know. I
those
think
are
they're
great points.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. And where does that obviously connect with the packaging industry? So if you think about the, potentially the days of the like, I got a job and I worked at that company for 30 years and I got a bunch of promotions and I got a pay increase and then I saved up enough money and now I'm retired. I mean, it's still very viable. I'm not saying that that's, there's nothing wrong with that, but the ability now to do multiple things
Yeah.
and still be really productive. The internet and that the social network space of the internet combined with now an acceptance of video calls. Like I used to travel a lot, at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. I was out on the road. I haven't been on many planes hardly at all in a year. And
Yeah.
because a lot of those meetings, quite frankly, had there been an acceptance to this kind of video conferencing platform, could have just happened over video conference. Like, you know, press checks and online support for like packaging equipment. Like a lot of that stuff now is just being handled via FaceTime, Zoom calls. It's
Yeah.
going through, I'm trying to think of what, Microsoft Teams, like collaboration, all of this stuff is happening. And so it's allowing us to be significantly more efficient in our time than we have been in the past. Do you know what I mean? So
Yes, I agree.
but it's not like our time shrunk. We still got 168 hours every week. And
Yeah.
so we now have the ability to do other stuff and within the packaging industry, I think that's huge. I mean, theoretically, I think there are people who could have 2 or 3 jobs as like a packaging engineer for like 2 or 3 different brands and you're getting paid for 20 hours from this one, 20 hours from this one, 20 hours from this one, and you're still super productive and you're still getting all your stuff done, but you can actually go out and make more money. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
saving them money
I was
because
gonna say,
go ahead.
oh no, sorry. I was gonna say, I know like lately too, like within this last year, another trend has been like another stream of income or multiple streams of income, just because, with COVID, I think that proved a lot for us that anything can be taken away very quickly.
Yep.
But even when you talked about just being productive, a lot of people have like created these like ebooks, or even like hosted like clubhouse groups where they go in for like the small businesses and be like, oh, let me help you with your problem. So it's like it's coming to the point now where you don't even have to like do the one-on-one calls. You can do a recording and like
Hmm.
put that on, and now people are like, okay, well, I'm struggling with my packaging, let me learn how, like how I can improve it. But I feel like too, like with me even having like packaging in my bios on my social media accounts, that has like attracted a lot of people like, hey, I'm making this, can you help me with,
Right.
and it's, I think too, like they don't even realize the bigger scope of packaging. So it's really interesting to me, like I have the opportunity to go through and like it's more than just like your poly mailer, like it's more than just your corrugate box. But just being able to teach them, because I think too that's another thing, like in the packaging industry, teaching is, it hasn't been, mm, I guess it's somewhere like adjusting with too, like teaching the
Yeah.
consumer things, especially with like the new trends, like staying up with those. But yeah,
Yep. Yeah,
definitely.
there's definitely a lot. There's certainly a lot there. I totally agree with you on, the multiple streams of income, the ability to create valuable content. That's something that I have really dove into over the last year,
Yeah.
personally, and just trying to be useful and valuable to people, has been a, a, a pretty big, like, realization in my own head of, like, oh, there's not a lot of content. There's content about packaging out there, but a lot of it is self-serving. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
come to this site and get your free information about how, company ABC is the best corrugated company for
Hmm.
your shipping needs. And then you have to give, like, first name, last name, email address, cell phone number, social media like, you just have to give up. I'm like, that's not free. You're just giving away your data. It's not free at all.
Literally.
So just trying to create it, and it's been awesome. And I've really enjoyed it. So, and this is part of it. And this I can certainly say, like, for me, this has been a great time. I got interviewed a little bit, so you flipped it on me, and that's never happened, and I enjoyed that. Uh, and just even, my hope is that as you're starting to look forward into, your career, and you're starting out in your career, um, that there's going to be somebody out there who listens to this and who reaches out to you. You're super dynamic in terms of your personality, and you got a master's degree, for crying out loud. I have a business degree from Colorado State University. So, um, there's a ton of jobs out there, and whoever gets you is going to be super lucky. So, what's the best? So, is LinkedIn the best way for people to connect with you, Shamir?
Yeah, LinkedIn is great.
Okay. Well, I will make sure that people go to your LinkedIn profile. Hopefully, it gets blown up with bazillions of No, I don't. It's not. That probably won't happen. But I'm not that important. Um, but yeah, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming on. And any final parting words of wisdom for the packaging world?
Um, Parting words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not I think definitely be open to like that change. I know innovation is something that we've all been like getting into over the past few years, but like now it's really important. I believe educating consumers is great. And I think that's something that we've been getting better at as an industry. And then that sustainability aspect, that education is also great. But I wanted to thank you for having me on here, and also your platform on LinkedIn. I like how you do how you just take a package and you just say like what you get from it, and like maybe things that they can change or like what's beneficial. And I think that's really great, because a
Awesome.
lot of times I think we just use stuff and just be like, well, we can't change anything, it doesn't matter, instead of like shedding light on how that can be improved. So yeah, thanks for having
Awesome.
me, this was great.
It's been great. I've really appreciated it. So thanks, Shamir, for being on. Everyone connect up with her, get her a job after May, and I'm excited to follow your career. It's been awesome.
Yes.
I hope everybody enjoyed that interview with Chemere. Like I said, she is going to kill it in her packaging career. So shout out to Dee Sridhar and Chemere Mathis, as we got to drop 2 episodes here with some incredibly dynamic people, current college students who had to go through the pandemic. Next week, we are going to have another couple of interviews. I think I actually teased this at the end of one, but we're going to have George Dempsey from Dempsey International, along with Corey Connors, the TikTok superstar at Corrugated. So be on the lookout for those interviews coming next week. And everyone have a great day. And remember that packaging is awesome.